see if it goes online. There it is. Cool. Well, it needs to be forever. Oh, that needs to be forever. Play. Okay. I'll share this with you.
Okay, cool. Am I safe to share it, or are we going to be a few minutes still?
You say the share, it's on the starting soon screen.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Want to get started?
Okay.
Hopefully all my scenes are correct. We'll find out very soon.
It's extremely unlikely, but I'm ready either way.
Yeah. Here we are.
Here we are. Here he is. Hi, Frank.
I should put the other background. So this is a new computer. So it's to replace the one that got olive oil into it.
The olive oil PC.
But it's a lot more powerful than that one. But we don't have anything set up. So how have you been?
I've been terrific. How have you been, Frank?
I haven't seen that D hose in forever. Well, you use it a lot.
This is the Droid.
Droid, right?
Yeah. I mean, it works for what it is. It matches my B2. I don't have a reason to replace it. So I know that there's cooler hoses out there. It's inexpensive. But, Frank, we just lost the top of your head.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, as long as you know. It's inexpensive. You know, it's not the soft touch silicone. I'm going now, too. This is cool. It's not the soft touch silicone, but I like it. It's got a nice long handle. It's got a little rubber grip. It's good enough.
Yeah. You know, can we talk a little bit about talk about hose handles a little bit, because there's a lot of people making them now for premium prices for resin. Yeah. But for me, I think something like that looks perfectly fine. Am I wrong?
No, I agree. I mean, it's all personal preference, obviously, but I definitely, for hoses and handles, especially, like a simpler design. Like, I mean, I have the Moses hose where the hose itself is the leather and it's all, super cool looking. But as far as handles go, I don't understand the real extravagant ones. However, have you seen the D hose resin ones that they're selling now?
I think I saw a picture of it. Just because someone in the community is pretty pissed off. Let me see.
Yeah, so
resin.
They have them on Junkie if you want to take a look.
Oh, I see them here. I'll put a picture up right here.
Yeah, they're definitely interesting looking.
Can I just put one of these pictures? I'll take the blue one.
Brianna wants to know the story of how you got olive oil in your computer. Can I just tell her?
No.
He was trying to make a pizza. He's an idiot. He got a pack of Lunchables. It was about the same size as a disk drive. Stuck it in there. He said, "Let me make some pesto." He was in the process of chopping up the anchovies when the computer finally just shit itself.
It's the most Italian problem.
I've heard it 100 times, Frank. I've heard it 100 times. It happens to the best of us.
I know, but it's just like
you drink a little cognac. Next thing you know, you're a little confused.
So this is the resin handle D hose.
Right. And what are they going for? They were not very expensive on Junkie when I remember looking.
They are retailing right now for $25.
So that's relatively inexpensive, and it's not just the handle, right? It's a hose and everything.
It's the rubber silicone hose with the handle and the connector. So, for me, resin, this is how much it should cost. Now,
exactly.
It goes into hookahs too, right? Because I have a B2 Precious Cut, but there's new stuff coming out, like the Regals. He's coming out with these balls on his B2, and now that's $1,000. But resin's cheaper than metal.
It is. I mean, you have like this particular resin handle is honestly very, very attractive to me. I like it. It's different colors on the bottom of the handle. It's always a different color. And then on the top part, it's like clear and this gold flake looking stuff, which I'm sure is not actual gold flake, but that's what the D-hose resin handles are. And for me, it's simple. It's, a regular concise design. I plan on picking one up. There are people you have, Resin Kings out there making their resin handles. Some more work does go into them because they're hand lathing them and making each one. It's a smaller, it's a couple guys doing it, so that's cool. Um, for me, it's too expensive for resin and too expensive for what I need for a hose handle. I just don't see the need for it. But it's a luxury item, just like anything else. I mean, we could all just be using disposable hoses and having the same sessions that we're having. So anything more than $20 is more than you needed to spend anyway. So it's up to you if you think it's worth it. For me, I think these are cool looking.
I so this is the part where I have problems right now, just because of the trend of where things are trending to, and I'm wondering if it's signifying a problem. Um, I think we've gotten to a point where the vendors feel, or people in general feel, the size of the market is not growing. I think people feel maybe it's shrinking. So at this point, they're not so much concerned on long-term business. They're trying to make their money now. Like, is that
Huh.
like a fair assessment? Like, if you think about like now these hoses, these hookahs are getting so expensive, and people are still paying them because there's almost like this feeling of urgency to do it, almost like helplessness. Like there's probably gonna be nothing really else out like it, so I have to buy it and get it because who knows if it's gonna come out again. For me, maybe that's like sort of like some of the stigmatism around it right now. Maybe I'm wrong. What are your thoughts about it?
I haven't ever thought of it in those terms. I just think that you're seeing vendors and especially smaller batch manufacturers.
By the way, your
Um,
camera is all out of focus.
I know. What do I do?
There
Okay,
you
so for me, I think that you have the vendors and like the smaller, like the artisan type guys, realizing that the community is willing to pay. Certain members of the community are willing to pay.
go.
Somebody call an ambulance! Somebody call an ambulance! Frank's God dying. Um, I think that especially your people that are making smaller batch items are realizing that there's members of the community that are willing to pay extremely high prices for something that's a one of, or for something that's extremely interesting, or just very very different. And you're starting to see it. And B2 to me is a perfect example. I love B2. Everybody knows it. I love Vahe. I think he's a great guy, and by no means am I trying to bash him. I mean, but you're not forced to buy these products. But you see these hookahs that are going to perform the same as your regular B2, or going to perform the same as your regular F22, and it's this interesting looking piece, and it is, but really it's resin. So you're talking about a plastic ball that's being added to it. Sure, it's really interesting looking. It costs more than just regular plastic. Don't get me wrong. It's not made of Legos, but is the value of $700 to $1,000 really there for that piece? I personally, I don't see it. Like, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. Just the same reason I haven't bought a Precious Cut. Like, I love my B2. I love your Precious Cut. I love the way they look.
I love it too. Yeah.
But for that, for an extra $300 or $400, I don't need it.
Not only that, Tommy, it's almost like when you look at what is, and the reason why I was bringing up this trend is just because you started with Regal. Well, really, you started with the B2 Precious Cut, but then Regal came around and they started doing their Precious Cuts,
Right.
and they were larger. But now we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller the resin, and the price is growing and growing and growing, and this is like these blocks literally cost like $20 on Etsy. Like I
Well, that's
don't.
the thing. I mean, obviously it's hand turned and all that. So there's someone who knows what they're doing that goes into it. But it gets to a point, and I mean, the same can be said, in my opinion, for the one off mason bowls that you see people go out and buy, which we've discussed before. But
They just
you
did
know,
an auction, $500 for one.
yeah, like, is it because it's that good, or is it because it's really that interesting, or is it just like, oh well, this is really cool, so I have the extra money, I'm going to buy it? I think there are a lot of people in the community that just look at it that way, and you and I always kind of look at things a little bit more analytically, and everyone. I don't think everyone does that.
Look at
I mean,
things
obviously,
analytically.
yeah,
I don't think they do at all. Um, I think, and this is the problem. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and the people actually selling this stuff probably doesn't even know what's going on. I think they're just sort of reacting to it, but I don't feel like our community is growing any faster anymore. Like I feel like when we first joined this community, or rather, when HLU was around, still called HLU,
Right.
and Hookah John and Mike was still the king of the old HE. During that time, I felt like we had so much growth, and now it feels like it just like stopped. Like, am I imagining things?
No, I think that that's definitely true. I think that right now, just um, in the, I mean, not even necessarily community, but like, it's harder and a scarier proposition as an idea to get into the business as a new anything related to hookah because you don't know where all these laws are going to go. And I think that's got a lot to do with it. Like, you're not going to see very many, you don't see very many like new pipe companies popping up. You're not seeing a lot of new, American, at least, tobacco companies popping up. We're seeing more and more stuff being imported. We're seeing more and more stuff, trying to enter the American market from other markets. But right now, I think the American market is kind of in a weird place because it's like if like me as a business person, I wouldn't want to look to get into, invest a whole lot of money in hookah because in 5 years you might not be able to legally buy hookah tobacco. Like that's a legitimate like fear for us to have is like it could all be legislated away.
That's scary, right?
It is. It is. Then we'll be back to smoking crack like we used to.
Um, they want to know if you're sitting on a booster seat.
I'm not. The couch is behind me. I'm in a desk chair. So I'm
And
higher up than the couch. The couch is behind me. This is my little tiny cave of an office.
they want to know where's Doug.
Where's Doug? I'm sure Doug's around.
Let's see.
That is Doug. Doug is the one who asked, "Where's Doug?" Doug, where are you? Okay, and I'm sure that you're most definitely sitting on a booster seat. For those of you who don't know, Doug was a mod for a while at THL, and he's not anymore, but he's still around. He's a good friend, but he is vertically challenged. Doug is about 4'6" when you meet him in person. It's interesting.
It's a little weird, but
Yeah.
it's like a cute weird. Like you look at him, you're like, I should be concerned, but at the same time, I'm not.
No, yeah, well, he's not gonna. He obviously can't hurt you, because you just extend your arm and he
Yeah.
can't reach you anymore. Like you just hold on to the top of his head like this, and he just swings. That's what happened when we hung out in the city.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed when you like took his phone and he was trying to jump to grab it. It was a little embarrassing just to watch.
Yeah, there's lots of fun to be had with Doug, for sure, for sure.
All right. So that's hoses.
Hoses. Yeah. So did you see that the D company is making interesting looking little hookahs?
I didn't.
So I'm thinking about getting one because they're
you brought this
little.
up to me.
What's that?
You brought this up. Is there a picture someplace I could show everybody what you're talking about?
Hookah Junkie has them.
Hookah Junkie has them. Let's see.
Yeah. So I saw like the other day, Hookah Junkie shared on his Instagram. Yeah, on Instagram, a picture of these pipes, and then I went and checked them out. He said they're aluminum. I am sure that they're not the highest quality, but they're under $100 complete pipe. And yeah, and they're the ones that I like are the smaller tabletop ones.
Is it
with
like
the interesting
D5 or
finish.
is it literally D hookah? There's a couple here.
I'm not sure which one. It might be the D hookah one with it has like the crazy colors.
You know what? Let me just share this part of the screen, and then we can look together. Yay!
Yay!
Smart selection. There we go. Okay. Of course, I get the subscribe. Okay. So
first in line.
Which one?
If you scroll down, so just the D hookah, it was right up top. I'm sorry.
This one.
Yeah, that one. So that's the comic one. I'm not nuts about that colorway, but if you look, there's a couple other colorways too that look relatively interesting. Like they're neat looking little pipes. The hoses match.
And honestly,
again,
this is the pricing that I sort of would expect with the resin.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest. Like, this is the sort of pricing I would expect with resin. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like
resin's
resin
very cheap.
should be less expensive than like wood. Like it's confusing sometimes when even like Regals, like you have the diamond wood and they cost a little bit more than your regular um Regal, but then you have like the resin ones. Now the resin ones that Regal does are super super interesting, and they usually do have an exotic wood in there as well. But these $60, like a small hookah, like a little tabletop, I want to get one to test it out and see how it holds up, because to me, like especially for first, for newer smokers and stuff like that, like if this is a quality pipe, this is a great price point for a complete little desktop hookah that if it performs well, you know, it's tough to really suggest anything else.
I've never heard of these hookahs till today.
Well, they're from they just started making them. It's from the company Shisha Land, which makes D-Hose. So it's D-Hose's brand of hookah.
Yeah.
And they're, I'm sure, from China.
Most likely. They're the Aura hookahs. These are $15, bro. Wait. This is from $14.99. This is which was
that must be like
$14.99?
just a hose or
the
something. It's
replacement base.
$14.99.
You're
Okay,
so sneaky, Maz.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are cool looking. Like if you're someone who's just getting into hookah,
Yeah, they
if
are.
it's higher quality than your gas station pipe, which you're going to pay about the same amount of money for, like as long as it's better than that, these are a good option.
Now, do you think this is a better option than the Vero?
I haven't used it yet, but the Vero was more expensive, wasn't it?
It's $99.
Then it's probably not going to be a better than the Vero, with the exception of it's a more traditional looking pipe. Like the Vero aesthetically doesn't really look like a hookah. It looks like a little cup.
Let's see. Alfacher hookahs. I didn't even know that. Who was it? Is he selling it too? Meduse. No, he's not. 5-star selling Meduse hookahs now, which I thought.
Yeah, see, there's the Vero. So like you just plug a hose into the bottom of it, and you put your bowl on top, and that's it. So there's no tray. It's a real travel pipe. It fits in a lot of cup holders, which is cool. It's super super high quality. The metals used are super high quality. It uses actual carbon fiber. It's stainless steel. For me, this pipe is an absolute steal at $100.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to be way better than the D hookahs are. However, it doesn't look like a traditional hookah. Like it's much different looking. And it is super, super small. I mean, it's like the size of a it's a little bit wider, but it's about the height of like a 20-ounce coffee from Wawa.
What is this square smoke?
I have no idea.
I try to look at some of this stuff to see like new stuff coming out. The whole Amy brand is like questionable for me. I'm just like, would I ever buy an Amy hookah?
I probably wouldn't personally, and honestly, I normally probably wouldn't with the D hookah either. But what's interesting to me about it is more the price point than anything. So if it's halfway decent at $60, like why would you buy an Amy for 200 when they're both coming from China and are probably going to be the same quality material?
Yeah, I agree. So I wanted to also look at a couple of hoses on Hookah Russia for us and see the new stuff coming out and just give our real life take on them. What do you think?
I'm with it, dude.
All right, let me see if I can figure out a way that we could do this where we're still in shot. Okay. The Mexicana. I get the whole argument like when there's a market, you'll create competition that copies you and brings at a lower price point. But there's something about like just straight up copies that just bother me. Like I think it's more about the fact that there's just no respect for the fact that someone else put so much work to it. And
Exactly.
like I know myself, I wouldn't do that to someone where I'll just take exactly what they did, carbon copy it, and sell it as is. It's almost like selling counterfeit handbags.
Exactly. And the problem with it for me, and the issue that I have with that kind of stuff isn't really so much like I feel bad for the companies that are being copied, because that's a lot of times I feel like that's what people think our take is like, we're mad that they're copying it. It looks like an American product and we're mad about it because we love America. The thing is, a company that's not willing to make their own designs and is just going to rip off another company and then sell it for cheaper, how like how good do you really think the ethics of that company are? Not great. They're willing to just rip someone off. So if they're willing to do that, are they willing to cut corners at manufacturing? I would imagine they would be. Are they willing to possibly lie to you about where the metals are coming from and what even the metals are? Why wouldn't they? They don't care about just ripping off a competitor completely. So
Yeah.
that's the issue that I have at that point as a consumer, not a community leader, just as a consumer. Is I have a trust issue with any company who's willing to do that, because it's not that hard to make something look your own. Like, even if you look at a Regal and you say, you know what, these are cool, I know how to turn wood, I'm going to make my own wood pipe, and then you make the same exact design as the Regal. Well, you're not doing anything different. Well, I'm going to sell it for $30 cheaper. Well, it's not interesting to me.
Yep. I agree. I agree. That.
Mike, you're wrong. It depends on your cup holder. Mike said the Vero does not fit in your cup holder. I have smoked out of my Vero in my cup holder several times. I've made posts. Open your eyes, Mike. Wake up.
Okay, so I got a couple of hookahs here. Let's just go through them really quick.
Yeah.
This is the new Union hookah acrylic black.
I mean, it's cool looking, I guess. It's, to me, I'm not a huge fan of the aesthetics of the Union hookahs.
I'm
They're
not
just
either. There's something about it.
they're so simple. I mean, they're just really simple. If you like it, it's cool. But it's really,
When you
plain to me.
when you actually get it and hold it, it's so much smaller than it looks on the pictures. Like, it's actually like probably like this big. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I think I think my statue on my desk is bigger than my Union.
Yeah.
So for the price, it's pretty expensive, guys. Like, you might as well just get a Regal. Like, and the Regals would be a lot wider. Like, I'm able to stick the downstem of the Union into the Regal. That's how small the Union is. So, but I'm just not crazy with the aesthetic, and that's just the basis of it. And I think it's just small for the price. Like, I don't know.
And it's really just a plastic sleeve over top of a straight pipe, right?
Yep, that's all it is.
I don't know. They don't do anything for me. But a lot of the simple designs don't do anything for me, and I think that we're like in the minority a lot of the times on how we feel about the aesthetics of a lot of these pipes. Like, I like my F22. It has the interesting colorway and all that kind of stuff. But I like the design of the regular B2 much better. And I like the shapes of that Regal does. Like, they have interesting cuts in them, where a lot of especially the Russian market, and then you're seeing it now coming. Other pipe manufacturers are copying these simple, like, stick type designs, or a straight pipe with an interesting sleeve that maybe has a couple of cuts in it or whatever. I don't know. Like, I really, I mean, we say it almost every stream. I really wish that a company would make a hookah that performs like B2, that looks like a Sheikah, or looks like one of the the older KMs, with all the intricate etching and all that kind of stuff, and made of full metal, as opposed to the trend of these simple hookahs that we're seeing coming out. And it's interesting when the stick design was first introduced, it was like the Maya hookahs that were doing it, and they were inexpensive. And then you had the real simple looking hookahs coming from Russia that, again, were super low price point. And now you're seeing pipes going for a couple $100 that, like you said, are really small hookahs. I mean, they're tabletop size hookahs.
For this guy.
And a simple design. Like, I don't know. I just think there's better options out there.
And my whole problem with stick designs is this, right? People go, Frank, you don't like the stick design. I'm like, no, it's not that I don't like. Well, yeah, I don't like the stick design. I don't like.
I know, yeah.
But if they made the market better, I get it. But they're selling stick hookahs for $200. Like, literally just a pipe into a plastic heart is $200. that that doesn't make sense, guys. Like, stop buy. You're enabling them to make more of this crap more simple. Like, B2 went from having these intricate looking hookahs to literally a stick with a plastic ball for $1,000 because
Yeah.
of this trend. It's not
No, it's a
good.
very, very interesting looking plastic ball. Don't get me wrong. When he first started showing the pictures of them before we knew the price point, I was 100% sure I was going to buy one. If they were $200 or $300, I would definitely have one.
Yeah. But
Seven, $800?
no.
Absolutely not, dude. Absolutely not. That's fucking a rent payment.
Like, there's nothing. Like, I feel like his B2s are the best value right now. Because
Absolutely.
they're the most intricately designed pieces he has with the most work done to them. Like, I like the F-22, right? I get it. It's pretty, it's nice. I commend him on doing something different. But it's nowhere near as sophisticated in design as the B2. And it's why the B2 was sold as be like my number one in my book for his pipes, because it has the most interesting design. Like, it just looks
Yeah.
interesting.
And the modularity, like I love the modularity of the B2.
You saw me. I was putting stuff together. I made it like
Yeah.
I made it huge. I put the down stem into. It's a lot better than all his other pipes. I told him
I
that.
think so. I think so.
This is the Alpha Hookah Model S. This is $200. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just not that interesting. And is the heart plastic? Is that what it is?
Yep, plastic heart.
That's crazy to me.
This is a Ray Candy.
Yeah, I don't know, guys.
Affordable hookah, Ginger Gypsy. This is 134.
It's just the thing is, again, we've caught heat for this, and I'm not saying that I know for a fact that these are from China, but
It
you know,
doesn't
I've
look
been
like a Matte Bear a little bit. This heart.
absolutely, absolutely. A lot of them look very, very similar. I feel like so many Russian products look like another Russian product, but regardless of that, like a lot of these designs, and I think this is why you and I have more of a problem with this than some people who haven't been smoking for as long, because we remember, and at least I know I definitely remember when KM and Chica were the top of the line hookahs that you could get, and the cheaper hookahs, your gas station hookahs, your no name Chinese hookahs that are going to turn to rust in 2 weeks if you smoke every day, looked like this. They were the metal inside with a plastic sleeve that had some some ridges on it and some little simple design, so it's not just a straight pipe. And these were the cheap hookahs. So to me, anytime I see a lot of these hookahs, a lot, especially these Russian pipes, they just look like China, because in my mind, because I'm still, I started smoking 15 years ago, they look like the way that cheap pipes used to look, and they're being sold for $150 to $250, and it just makes me scratch my head.
I agree. These craft, and like this nothing, like this one's 134, and then the next one, which is a small version, is 129. Why? Why
Yeah,
is it so much more expensive?
I don't know.
And then you have the Evo, and this guy, like Evo, Let's Smoke, Black Pearl Turquoise. This thing looks like a looks almost like a Union.
It looks like the Union sleeve with a different heart.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like the Union sleeve with a different heart.
That's the thing with this whole market. It's just like, and this is going for 129. Which is probably the. And here's another one. Let's Smoke again. They went with copying the VZ design.
It's an exact copy of the VZ design.
Yes.
And it's cheaper, so some people will buy it. But it's the problem, like I said, I mean the main problem that I have with any company who's going to do something like that is, okay, well, why is it cheaper?
If they're gonna cut corners with that, what else are they cutting corners with?
And what's making it cheaper? If VZ can make theirs and it costs $300 or $340, whatever it costs, how can you get this that looks exactly the same that's cheaper? Material's got to be cheaper.
I agree.
The way that they're manufacturing it has to be cheaper. There's going to be issues with something that looks like an exact copy.
There has to be something different because like you can't just make something. I'm trying to get the VZs. Did he run out of them? Oh no, here they are. So guys, if you ever want to buy something in the U.S. Side that's Russian, definitely check out World Hookah Market. These guys were really nice to us at Expo, and they carry things like VZ, Honeysai. Um, so look, they have the VZ radio. Other people were trying to sell it to me like 300 plus. They have it for
Yeah.
260 here. It's not bad prices. Um, so let's see. Was it stainless steel? Copper mini.
And the other
Yeah,
thing that you have to remember when you're buying these as imports, you're paying extra money in order to get it imported. So if you're buying this pipe for $300 or $400 or $200 or $300, whatever it costs, it's going to cost significantly less if you were in Russia and were just able to buy it. So you're paying this extra money for a design that's a knockoff of something else. Like it doesn't make any sense. Derek brought it up in the chat a little bit ago. People have, it seems like our market has no problem buying Russian products or imported, not just Russia, but imported products that look like an American product or are, very, very similar aesthetically to other products that are a little bit cheaper. But if you have someone come out now that's making bowls, let's just say, and it looks like a mason bowl, or you have someone making bowls that
they go
looks like
crazy.
stone bowls, everyone loses their fucking minds. So like, we need to make up our minds. Like, are we okay with copies or are we not okay with copies? Or are we only okay with copies if they're coming from Russia because Russia's really cool right now? Because that to me is like totally stupid.
I agree. Okay, guys, don't buy. If you're gonna buy Colos bowls, just buy them on here. They're local already. 22 bucks.
Nice.
Yeah, they're pretty bowls.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. Do you have any of the Kolos bowls? Have I smoked a Kolos bowl?
I have them. You haven't smoked them.
Okay.
I use them for
All,
blondes.
all the Russian bowls that I've got to use and handle feel very cheap to me.
Are they from Russia? I think they're from. I think Kolos is from Europe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, but it's just so many of these bowls like
No, I get what you're saying. Like, does your
they just
bowl
feel
have?
like they're slip cast.
Yeah, I mean even Japan is light.
Very, very light and causes hot spots. Like the bowl doesn't heat up. Don bowls to me are the same thing. And I know that you can use them in certain tobaccos, and if you do it the right way, you can, get it to smoke for a long time. I'm not saying that. But just, I think that like for a lot of these bowls, like especially these shapes, like the edgy shapes for a lot of these Russian bowls, like Don bowls are an example. Japona bowl, like I have a Japona edgy that I do use, but really like your $5 from 5-star Egyptian bowl that's the heavier clay is going to perform better than a lot of these bowls do. And you're
Yeah,
paying $30 because the outside of it has a little, a different logo that's from Russia.
the funny thing is, I have a lot of these bowls. Like, I have a lot of Russian products, but you don't see me use them. And the thing
No,
is, it's because they don't perform extraordinarily better than American products. I think some people just like getting on these kicks with these Russian products, and it's cool, right? But when you're being objective, my best bowl right now that I love using, I know you like Stone, but my best bowl that I love so far is my Alpaca Mini Rook. That thing is
yeah,
a beast for my dark leaf. Like that's all I like it better than my 80-foot 80s. Like I think it performs better. So like I try using 80-foot 80s for Tangiers and stuff like that, but it just doesn't do it for me. Like I have to have the Mini Rook. It's like my go-to. Um, I don't know. Like I don't use the only Rush. I don't actually have any Russian products I use currently. All the stuff I have a German pipe. I'm switching on and off with the B2, mostly German, and then I have all American bowls, and that's it.
mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I have anything Russian I use actually. I smoke dark side occasionally now. I have some WTO. but like the dark side, just the popular flavors are the stuff I like. But there's a lot of bad flavors in dark side. Um,
Hmm.
I think 10 flavors are good. The rest of them are looks like um, Mexicana hookah. There's another one. This is copy.
It does nothing for me. And again, I mean, it's just an aesthetic thing. It's not like you're wrong if you like it. Like, I'm not saying that, but I don't, I don't see it. Like, why import something that's kind of just they're plain looking to me? Like, why spend the money?
Would you say though? Let me ask you this, right? If you had to choose between two Russian pipes, so this is going for 135. Let's bring out the Avion stick really quick. The Avion stick is 189. Which one would you choose?
And the other one was how much?
This is 135.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't really want either of them, but I would probably go cheaper if I wanted that kind of design. However, I don't like the etching that they have on that. So for me personally, I'd probably go with the regular stick because I think the flowers and stuff are definitely not my aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like that at all.
Dream smoke. And this is the thing for me, Tommy. Right? This is the thing for
None
me.
of these are exciting. Like none of these, like, oh
Like
wow. Where
the
when you
Ace
first
Age,
saw it, when the B2 first came out, it was like, oh wow, look at that. That's so cool looking. Like, you know.
like the thing is, it costs this company $100 to sell, right?
Hmm.
So they're probably getting it for like 50. They're
Hmm.
probably manufacturers at 25.
Absolutely. Or less.
Yep.
I mean,
And
it's
and
plastic.
the this is definitely in the U.S. market. I forget I forget what they're selling it for. Oh yeah, 250.
Oh,
250 U.S. market price.
that is insane.
This is it. Try to see. Nice. No. It's like short and stubby. Yeah.
Is
Oh,
that
here it
one? Is
is.
that one? Yeah.
Yeah. 209.
See, I just don't get it.
Yeah. You know, is when it gets here, it looks like it's a premium pipe, but like you have to look at it really.
Oh, that's what I mean. You're paying the cost to import. It's basically a cheap pipe, and that's the thing. I mean, it was discussed even when Brandon did his video for Peter Smoke. Um, the Russian market is very much about trying to be as inexpensive as possible, and that's why they have these simple designs and all that kind of stuff. But when you're paying a premium to import it, like why?
It's bizarre to me
And
too.
it isn't like they perform a lot better or even better at all. So if you're still going to spend $200, spend another 50 and get something where you know what the materials are, because that's really one of the main issues that I have with a lot of these Russian pipes is that they're being made to be sold to Russia, which is the market. They don't spend as much money as we do, and then they sell it at a premium to us. But really, what they're making is a very cost effective pipe, and at that point you don't really know where the materials are coming from exactly, the quality of the materials being used. You're talking about just aluminum with a plastic sleeve and you're paying $200. It's crazy to me. And these very well could be being manufactured in China, sent to Russia, and then imported to us.
I don't think you're wrong.
And there's 4 or 5 different middlemen that are making money before it gets to you. So is it really a premium product? Like if we go over if we go to China and we find the pipes that are being sold in the gas station up the street for $50, but before instead of sending it there, first we send it to Russia, and the people in Russia got to make their money, and then they repackage it, and then it gets sent over to a distributor in America, and then they got to add on another 50% for the price. Well, now it's a $200 pipe. No, it's still a $60 pipe. Like, you know what I mean?
It's still not cheap
No.
to buy it here. Like, and that's my problem with it. It's just like you're buying this really cheap hookah for a premium price, and it doesn't make sense to me. And I think that's my problem with it. Like, if these things were a lot cheaper, I think I would be a lot
I would
happier for it.
understand it. I would understand it if they were either a lot cheaper or if there was some actual innovation coming in other than just, the price point, because that's really what it's about in Russia is the price point. They're inexpensive. They're much cheaper to get than it is to get a KM in Russia. But to then import it here, it's not. Now it's costing the same as any other nice pipe. And it's just, I don't see the value. I really don't. It'd be like I said, if there was all kinds of handmade work being done on it, then you could understand it. If it performed way better than any pipe we can get, it's way more wide open, or it does this, it does that. The purge is way different. You push a button and it totally purges it. Like something really, really cool, I could understand. But these are just like, I feel like a lot of what comes to the market and people get excited about is just because it's something else, something new, something to buy. Because we don't see a lot of new things popping up in the American market by way of pipes.
Yeah.
And the companies that are doing that, like you said, are going after, it seems like now, like you're more high-end buyers, people who want to have a showpiece. So like you see like a new B2 come out and it's got the ball and it's $800. Well, that's not for everybody. Where these are. Like anyone who likes to smoke could afford one of these Russian pipes, and it's something that's not everyone has, and something that's interesting. So like part of me understands it. I don't think that people are always necessarily, really considering what you're actually purchasing, as opposed to, this is something new and cool, and I don't have to spend $800. I can spend $150.
Yeah, I almost wonder if like these. I wonder if they're all going to like the same place, because the hearts look very similar.
It definitely looks like it to me. Like there's definitely some manufacturer sharing going on.
Yeah, like these hearts look very similar.
Which again, to me, points to China. And then if you look at these pipes and the price point, and then you take a look at the D-hose pipes that are, obviously coming from China, but they're not passing through 4 or 5 hands before you get it, so you can get them for $60 to $80.
Yeah.
That's why I want to pick one up. I want to test it and see what it's like. And actually, I'll probably end up bringing it up to you at some point and compare it to your Russian pipes to see, materials and all that. Because I have a real feeling that these are going to be very, very close to the same quality of what you're getting from these Russian pipes that you're paying 2 and 3 times the amount for.
What are any comments that we need to address so far?
Derek said that that was not what he meant, what I said. Well, whatever, Derek. That's what I meant. Derek's saying, what he's saying is, it seems like our market is okay with buying copies when they're international, but when someone copies any American brand, international or not, they raise hell. That inconsistency. That's true. It's kind of a different side of what the argument I was making. Within our own market, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why not support ingenuity regardless of where it's from? That's the core value of who I give business to. I agree with that. Mike said he said China like 2 years ago, but no, Mike, we have been saying China, Mike. We've caught, again, I don't know if you've been hibernating lately or what, but we've caught a lot of shit for many, many times saying that these Russian pipes look like fucking China.
I mean, it was at one point where they were trying so desperately to hide that they were made from China. Now they're just open about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there was people very, very angry with us for even suggesting that it could potentially be from China, but they look like Chinese pipes. I mean, that's at least interesting looking, but like, is that wood? Like, what is that?
It says the new Volt hookah. This is $225. I don't know if it's wood. Oh wait, hookah made of stainless steel and wood.
So it's a wood sleeve.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool.
This is the one where if you push the button, if you hold the button when you purge, instead of purging out the purge port, it shoots the air through the bowl instead.
Which again, I
know.
I don't see how that's beneficial. I mean, it's neat, but I don't.
This is like the alpha we just saw.
Yeah.
This it's called Chorus.
Yeah, they just didn't finish the sleeve.
Map hair.
Was that a fake Lotus that they had on that last page for sale? Did I just see a fake Lotus?
Yep.
See, like, can you say China?
And the thing is, it's $39. It's $39.
This is a rebranded copy of the Lotus, and you can find this exact device on Amazon for $15. Except it won't say heat keeper because this has been repackaged for the Russian market and then sent back over to us. It's insane. I don't understand how people don't see this. Like any website that sells that, I'm gonna be very, very hesitant to buy from.
The thing is, the regular Lotus is not that much more expensive than this price.
It's about the same, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like Lotuses are about $40.
$49 for the Plus.
And you know that it's safe to smoke out of.
Well, you could sue somebody if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Because they're here. That's my problem with some of these fake Lotuses. Like, you have nobody you could really hold accountable.
Exactly.
I
saw that you ordered that the Cloud pipe.
Oh yeah, I got it coming in. Oh,
yeah,
they made a black one of the original.
Ooh,
that looks
cool. That does look cool. I wonder how that'll affect the performance, the color, if it'll make any difference in how it transfers heat.
I don't know. I did get the hookah. I got a lot of stuff. I got their hose, the hookah. So these are the new hoses he released.
Okay.
We'll see how they perform. You know, like I think like for the price, I don't know like how much money he spends on packaging, but the packaging on all this stuff always looks super premium. He also has mouth tips he made, which are all stainless steel. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, because usually you see this like the plastic, the wood.
Yeah.
He made all stainless steel mouth tips.
My favorite is still just the regular B2 mouth tip because I like to chew on them.
Yeah, me too.
Like I have the Japona, I have a few of the wood ones, I have a couple other ones that I've had. I have a Mason one, and I still like. I always find myself using the regular just silicone B2 one because I chomp on the thing.
So this is the one I got. You know, I don't know how it's gonna do. It might be horrible. So this is what it has. It has a horizontal purge. It has a carbon activated filtration system. So it filters the smoke as you smoke it. It's like a filter on your cigarette.
It's another one of those things. Like, is that an innovation we needed?
No. The Cloud Celestial Bluetooth enabled lighting system.
What?
Yep.
How does that work? What is that? I've not looked at this Bluetooth enabled lighting system. I remember a Bluetooth hookah not long ago, Frank. Be careful when you do this review.
I don't know how it's gonna work, but
be careful.
Yeah. So the hose. So the hose is interesting because I don't know what it means, but you tell me what you think it means. It's a woven platinum cured silicone hose. So what he's saying is these hoses that you get with it, and this is why he's saying the price is so high, is that it's not just in the regular hose. He's saying that this here has platinum cured into it. So it's a silicone hose with platinum cured into it, so it will never kink.
Okay.
That's what he's saying is the reason why these are priced so high.
So he was like, you know what? You know what I don't like? I don't like the aesthetic of those hoses with the little metal coil on bottom. So instead, I'm using platinum. There had to have been some in between that he could have found for it to not be a $400 pipe.
Yeah, and he says,
as opposed to using platinum. There's other metals that are also hard.
he's saying it's naturally the material of the hose is antibacterial already.
Okay.
Meaning, he's saying that the hose itself, germs can't live on it.
Adhere to it.
Yes.
Right. Which is cool.
I don't know. We'll see. You'll be able to try it soon enough, because you'll be getting it to try it here. But we'll see. Like, I'm a little skeptical about the filtration system because I can't imagine how it could be open and filtering. Did we die? Our stream?
No. No, it looks good. Derek said, like leather. Yes, like leather. Wrapping a hose in leather will also help prevent it from kinking.
Yeah.
And won't necessarily cost $100. Actually, Derek's hoses are going to cost around $100. So I guess, Derek, you need to introduce some platinum immediately. Give us little charms. That's what I want. The next Moses hose I order, I would like a Jesus piece, or at the very least, a platinum Star of David. Derek, please.
What is this one?
$3,400.
Yeah.
Woof. With no tray. I don't know.
So this is a different thing.
The world's going crazy.
So this is the Chrysalis Samceris. So what's different about it is that
Christ.
this Samceris is made of porcelain. So it was metal, it was glass, then metal, and now it's ceramic. So he's saying it's the same material now as your regular hookah bowls.
Except good hookah bowls are not ceramic.
White ceramic bowl.
Like when someone says white ceramic, I'm thinking of your like almost like porcelain. So it's usually ceramic bowls are what will come with like Maya hookahs, or anyone who bought what the fuck is it? The Starbuzz, the one that looks like a gun. I have one and can't think of what it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. But the bowl that came with that is ceramic, and ceramic bowls are very, very thin, and you have hot spots and a lot of heat issues. So this thing just, however,
you don't think it's gonna be good?
I don't think it would be. However, the term ceramic is a weird term because technically ceramic just means clay. But usually in terms of hookah bowls, when you hear the word ceramic, it means that it's slip cast and it's going to be that very, very thin, like almost like fine china type of material. And it's not great for bowls. It usually have hot spots. It doesn't retain heat at all. So I feel like that would be problematic if that's what it is. I just fucking said that all clay is ceramic, Mike. I'm explaining what I mean. We got to ban Mike. I'm done with him. That's it. He's all hopped up on morphine at the hospital. By the way, everyone say a prayer for Mike because he may or may not be dying. Every time we talk to him, he just tells us whether or not he's pooped recently. So we really don't know what's wrong with him. But Mike is in the hospital and he is watching the show. So thank you for tuning in, Mike Blackstone. I hope that you're okay. And I hope that you poop soon, I guess. I don't know. I think that's the problem, right? He's been hospitalized because of constipation.
Yeah. But it is the top of the hour, Tommy. So is there anything else you want to talk about before you start wrapping this up?
Not a whole lot. We are working on finalizing the plans that we need to have finalized for the gala.
Yep.
It is coming, and very, very soon we should have tickets available and all of the relevant information for you guys. But we don't want to say too much until we have everything for sure secured. So it is happening. We were hoping for tickets to be able to go on sale this week, but we gotta wait a little bit. But it's going to be bigger than last year. It's going to be better than last year, and everyone should get excited immediately.
It's gonna be a lot bigger. So, it's definitely gonna become an East Coast thing every year, where we're gonna have this sort of event going on, and people could have two things to look forward to: not only Hookah Expo Worldwide, but the New York Gala, which is gonna be an event in itself for people to look forward to.
Right. And we really, anyone who has said, if you're one of the people that has said, I wish there was something on the East Coast that was like the Expo, that is what we're trying to do. Not that this year is going to be like the Expo or that we're necessarily attempting to compete with the Expo or anything like that. But, we're having to grow a lot more organically. We obviously don't have the money or the ability to market behind us that, Hookah John does, being a very well-established, big vendor like that. But we are attempting to try and grow what we're doing to the point to where every year we have more and more sponsors involved, more and more new things for you to try. So if you're one of the people that are on the East Coast that has said, I wish there was something more like this on the East Coast that we could go to, definitely buy tickets and help us grow this. Cause we really we're not going to be able to do what we want to do without the help of the community to support us in the beginning. So last year, the support was unbelievable. This year, we're going to open it up to more people. We're going to have more brands involved, and the following year should just be even better as long as we can continue to grow it. So, if you're one of those people that wishes that there was, some representation on the East Coast for hookah, get on board with this and help us grow it. Bring your friends, buy some tickets, and hopefully in 4 or 5 years from now, it can really be like another expo here.
Yep, agreed. Well said. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. I'm Frank.
I'm Tommy.
And we'll catch you next week. I think we're going to do this every Sunday, right?
Yeah, I think football season's over, so I don't have as much to do on Sundays, and it's a lot nicer doing it in the early afternoon on a day when I haven't had to do a whole bunch of work, as opposed to 10 o'clock at night after a 9-hour day, which is what we usually do on fucking Thursday. A lot more energy on Sunday at 2.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Hold on, Frank. Doug just reminded us we forgot to do it. How do we end every stream?
I'm not trying it anymore. You can say it.
Don't be a loser. Don't.
Because every time we try doing that, we end up looking like losers because we keep messing it up. So you can just say it. Don't be a loser. There you go. You. Right there.
No, you.